What's up guys, welcome back to the Gear Garden. This week we are talking about one of my new favorite pieces of gear, the Hyperlite Unbound 55. I'm gonna jump right in and tell you that Hyperlite did send me this pack. There was no make this review about this, do anything about that. They were just kind enough to send me this pack. There's no bias included in this. I've been a big fan of Hyperlite packs for a long time. I previously used the Southwest 55 for quite some time. So let's get right into it. The specific pack that I'm wearing is a black version. It is the Unbound 55. It comes in at $420-ish, I think $429. It weighs about 34.1 ounces, so it is slightly heavier than my other Southwest pack or any of the other packs that I am using, but that's because it comes with a lot more than you would typically expect for a pack like this. The material, of course, is a Dyneema composite. The specific one on the black is a DCH 150, where the white is a DCH 50, so it's 3 times the density, so it's a little bit thicker and it can take a little more of a beating. Not only that, but this specific pack comes in 2 different sizes. You have the Unbound 40 and you have the Unbound 55. I always tell my friends or people I know that I choose to get the slightly bigger pack because it comes in at a couple ounces more, and then you have a pack that you can use for anything from backpacking in the snow or backpacking super light in the summer, so you have more versatility with the pack. Granted, you can fit everything in a 40-liter pack, but if you like to have a little more leeway and you want to bring some bigger gear, then you have the option to do so. It's time to dive into my favorite part of this pack, which is all the fully loaded features that it comes with, as well as the differences between this and my other Southwest 55 pack, and there's a ton of differences. One of the biggest notable features that I felt like is a huge win for me that at first I was kind of unsure about was the frame, because the other Southwest packs that Hyperlite makes have a dual aluminum stay that's on the sides, and this one has one single one that goes straight down the back and it's slightly curved. And another pro of this pack is that along with the center frame, you also have a thick plastic padded sheet in the back, which is new for Hyperlite because typically they just have, you know, the aluminum stays in there and then just the regular Dyneema that the pack is. And I think the biggest pro is for someone that, if you carry your bear can inside your pack, which I no longer do, I typically set it on the top now, which I'll post in this video, is that you don't feel the bear can anymore, because most bear cans are rounded and it cannot fit sideways in this pack, so it's typically standing up, and you can put something behind it, but regardless, you're going to feel a bear can poking out a little bit, where that center stay eliminates any sort of feeling that you have from a bear can being inside your pack, which I think is a pretty cool, huge win. The hip belt on this one is removable, so if you're somebody that likes to fast pack or you just don't want to wear a hip belt, it's just velcroed in, super dense inside here. You can pull it out. The pockets are pretty similar size to my other pack from them. They're a little smaller, but they're also closer on the back, whereas before I feel like there was a lot more space, and so you had pockets that were more on the front than kind of in your back of your hips. It's not a big deal. They're still super waterproof, made out of that same Dyneema material. The straps have an easier pulling mechanism where you just pull towards the middle, which is really easy to adjust, and to loosen them all I have to do is just barely press this up when I'm walking, and it loosens all the tension off my hips and shifts it as I'm walking, so I can change that really easily. So as far as the straps go, it's the same classic Hyperlite strap, not too thin, not too thick, kind of narrow, loaded with daisy chains and adjustability for your chest strap, so you can move it when they come. They're pretty high up, which is like be up here like a choker on me. I didn't like that, so obviously I switched it to my liking. Now when it comes to the side of the pack, there's not nearly as many compression straps as the Southwest that I have, which I love because the other ones were in such an inconvenient location. They were across the water bottle pockets, so unless you had those straps completely undone, those pockets were even harder to get into because they were much higher up, where these are so much lower and they have fully adjustable capability. All I have to do is just, I can unsqueeze this thing here, and then I can just tighten it and cinch it down, and I don't have to worry about it as much, and I can actually reach my water bottles without any question at all while I'm walking. It's way easier to get your water out, which is always been my huge complaint about the Southwest, is that I wish the pockets were lower, and I feel like all my prayers have been answered with these, because I can also fit, you know, 2 waters in here, probably 3. I could put a tent in there. There's a lot of stuff that I shove inside the sides of these pockets. You know, this is a, what you could call a compression strap, but I really just use it for stuff in there, like if I have my camera gear on a stick or something like that, I'll shove it through there, or like if I don't want to use my trekking poles, I'm able to put it in there and cinch it down. That way I know it's not going to wobble around when I'm backpacking. As for the top and the front of the pack goes, you have the classic Y strap that's super adjustable. You can unclip it in 2 spots. You can adjust it in 2 spots, which I love. I'll put a bear can on here to show you how I carry my bear can. Another big win is this super cool Dyneema stretch mesh. Dyneema stretch mesh. It's kind of a mouthful. It's got a huge front pocket that looks like it's super tight, and that's because it is, but you can stuff so much stuff in here and not have to worry about if it's gonna stay stretched out or not. It's very, what's the word, like retractable in a way, as well as this really cool second feature down here that allows me to either get into the bottom of my pocket, or for me, I just keep my little trowel poop kit in here and it just kind of goes right back in. I have one hand, so I can't stuff it back in with this right now, but the ultimate favorite feature for me with this pack is the bottom, and it finally has a bottom pocket that's accessible while I have my pack on for snacks, for, you know, your phone if you want to keep it in there, anything you can put in here, your rain jacket, as well as a tiny little trash bin pocket that looks like it might be kind of difficult to get into, but when you're walking, you just get your trash and you poke it right in that little pocket. And it's so convenient because I don't have to worry about putting it in here or in the front of my mesh. I can keep everything that's trash consolidated in here. As for the internal situation goes, this is a classic roll top pack, my favorite style. You got two side cinches down here, which actually the side straps are removable. So if you wanted to be, you know, pinch the extra ounces, you can, and you can just kind of clip it at the top, but I don't like to do that. This thing comes up super big. Another thing that Hyperlite did with this pack versus their other packs is I believe it has better internal seam sealing. That's why you see two sewn edges on the sides, on both sides, because they have better seam taping on the inside to provide even more of a waterproof capability for this pack. As you can see, the whole collar is just super tall, and another big thing that I really like that they did with this is they eliminated the Velcro inside right here. This used to seal on a lot of the other packs with Velcro, and I hated that so much because it would get stuck on all my fine materials and get caught and snag and tear. So the fact that they got rid of that is really cool to me, and it makes it even more simple and one less thing that I have to worry about not working down the line. Another one of my favorite, absolute favorite things about Hyperlite is that when they say the Unbound 55, the internal is actually 55 liters, or the Unbound 40 is 40 liters inside, where this pack is 55 liters inside, but it also has an additional 9 liters of pockets on the outside. So you're actually getting more than the advertised liters on the pack. I believe it's about 61 liters with this particular size and model. Not to mention, this thing carries like a dream. It has a 40-pound weight capacity for comfort. You know, typically I wouldn't push it anywhere close to that if I didn't have to, but if you need to, you totally can. It's super cozy, and this thing, like I said, I had all of my gear, my fully loaded big BV500 bear can on here with 2 liters of water, and this thing was just really comfortable. I didn't have any sore shoulders after, which typically when I break new packs in, I feel like I kind of get that, especially with my old Southwest, I definitely did, and I didn't have that this time, so it really made the enjoyable experience even more enjoyable while I was outside in the backcountry up in Desolation Wilderness, testing out my new favorite pack. Thank you guys again so much for watching this, and thank you Hyperlite for sending me this pack. I do have some links down below that will help the channel if you purchase through them, especially for Hyperlite gear, Gossamer gear, Ombras, etc. So if you just go down below in the links and click that, it does support me, and I really want to thank you guys for watching this video. Again, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe down below. Check out the Unbound 55 for yourself and see how great it is, and I'll see you next week on the Gear Garden.